I'm going to explain my lesson plan. Here I have the generalities, the name of the institution, the date, the name of the teacher, the subject. This lesson plan is for 10th grade high school students. I have 1 hour, 20 minutes for this lesson. And here I have the name of the unit, that is where are you from, the lesson topic, introductions and greetings. My expectation, students introduce themselves correctly and use formal and informal greetings. Here I have 2 objectives. These objectives I created according to the SMART objectives, and considering that we have to follow the verb that we are going to use, for example, measurable, observable, and the other part of the SMART objectives. We should consider that in order to have the objectives for the lesson that we are going to teach. I have 2, and the students will be able to introduce themselves and others using formal and informal greetings with correct pronunciation. And here the students will be able to use in oral and written form double questions and assignments with the simple present tense of the verb to be in a conversation about meeting people. And the objectives should be clear, because at the end of the lesson we are going to see if we get our objectives. The key vocabulary. Here, this is the vocabulary that we already studied in the previous lessons. And we are going to start with the warm-up. We are going to do something that we already studied before. This is an activity that will help us to motivate students since the beginning of the class. And for the warm-up, I'm going to need some resources. I'm going to have flashcards about personal pronouns and flashcards about some vocabulary that we studied before. And I'm going to have a toy, that this is a dog, and my cell phone, and also I'm going to play music. I'm going to have 5 minutes to do this warm-up. And the warm-up is called Who Has the Toy? Well, the teacher is going to explain the students what is the warm-up about, and she's going to say, the student, she's going to ask to make a circle, and she's going to stand in the middle of the circle. She's going to give a toy to one of the students, and this student is going to pass the toy to the rest of the students. They are going to pass each other, and the teacher is going to play some music for some seconds. After that, she's going to stop, and the student who has the toy is going to have the opportunity to participate, and the teacher is going to show a flashcard, and if in the flashcard there is a personal pronoun, the student is going to tell a sentence using that personal pronoun. And if in the flashcard there is a word that about the vocabulary we already studied before, and then the student is going to spell that word. And that is how the warm-up activity is going to be developed. And after that 5 minutes, we are going to continue, and we are going to have the presentation. And in this part of the lesson, the presentation is where the teacher introduces the topic that she is going to teach in the class. And this is about the teacher is going to introduce the topic about present. She's going to present greetings, formal and informal, and introduction, vocabulary, and contents. She's going to have 30 minutes to do this, and she's going to use a power presentation, and is going to show a conversation, and she's going to play an audio, and in order to the student get familiar with the vocabulary that we are going to use during the class, and also get familiar with the pronunciation. And in the power presentation, the teacher is going to show some questions with what, where, who, and how, and also its answers. And the students, some students are going to read a question. Well, I'm going to ask a question. As a teacher, I'm going to ask a question, and the student is going to read the answer that is in the power presentation. And here we have the practice. And in this part of the lesson plan, the students are going to practice what that is related about what I already present to the students in the presentation. I'm going to have 30 minutes to do this. And here the teacher is going to divide the class into groups, A and B, and they are going to practice the conversation, and the teacher is going to repeat the conversation, the students are going to do it, and then when the teacher says, they are going to change their roles. And in order to practice both groups, each part of the conversation. Right? And also, the teacher is going to select a couple to repeat the conversation that is in the presentation, but in this case, they are going to change some details from the conversation. And at the end of this practice, the teacher is going to make a feedback about some mistakes that she listened in pronunciation. And then the students are going to have time to practice in pairs the double question and its answer that the teacher have in the power presentation. And also there are going to be some volunteers to do it for all the class. The teacher is going to give to the students some sheet of paper for a copy with some useful expression about introduction and some other ones about how to respond the greetings. And the teacher and the students are going to repeat together. Well, this is the practice, and now we are going to continue with the production. And in this part of the lesson, well, all the part of the lesson are important, right? But in this case, the students are going to practice the new vocabulary and phrases they already studied. And they already have in the presentation, they already have in the practice, but now they are going to create with the knowledge they already have about the topic we are studying. In this case, introductions and greetings. And here we have 40 minutes. The teacher is going to give a photocopy about W question, and the students are going to have an exercise filling in the blanks. The teacher is going to play a video, the students are going to watch it, and they are going to listen some information, and then they are going to have time to fill in the blanks with the information they listen, according to what the teacher is asking in the sheet of paper. And the students in this one, the students are going to work in couples, and then they are going to create a short conversation. With the knowledge they already have, they are going to create the conversation, and then they are going to use W questions and statement with the simple present tense of the verb to be. And in this part, while the students are working, the teacher is going to walk around and check what are the students doing, and also she's going to help if the students need it. After, when the students finish the short conversation, they are going to have time to practice in couple. Also, the teacher is going to walk around the class and is going to listen to the students, and also is going to help to pronounce some words that they are not doing in the correct way. She's going to help them in order to improve their pronunciation. And after, the teacher is going to ask for some volunteers to perform their conversation for all the class. And this is the other part of the lesson plan. And this is the last part. And we have the assessment and evaluation. And here we are going to have 15 minutes. This is the wrap up. And the teacher is going to give to the student a sheet of paper and with 3 exercises. One is about match exercise, that is about double questions. And here we have how many questions are included in the exercise. And the exercise number 2, that is about a scramble exercise about double question. and we are going to have 4 questions, and where we are going to practice what, where, who, and how. And then we have the third one, and they are going to fill in the blanks. This is about a short conversation about introducing themselves and greetings, and they are going to have the opportunity to show what they are understand, what they understood about the lesson. And this part is going to help the teacher to see if she gets her objectives, and then she's going to make a feedback according to what she sees in the answers that the student have in the 3 exercises. Well, this is my lesson plan, but now I'm going to show you my contingency plan. And there is one for each part. For example, in the warm-up, if I can use all the resources that I have prepared, I'm going to have my plan B, and I'm not going to use my cell phone and play music, but I'm going to use this as a plastic glass with some silk inks, and I'm going to make these sounds in order to simulate the music. And in the power presentation, we included an audio and conversation. And then if I can do it, because some of the difficulties that it can occur, and then I'm going to have the conversation in a printed sheet of paper, and I'm going to read the conversation aloud to the students. And in the practice, I'm going to have the conversation in printed piece of paper and give the students to read it in couples. They are going to work in couples in order to read the conversation and make the practice. And in the production, and in this part, the production, they are going to watch a video, and instead of this one, I'm going to have the short conversation, the different short conversations printed in a sheet of paper, and I'm going to read it aloud to the students. And also I'm going to have 6 photos that are about the people that participated in the conversation, and I'm going to stick them on the board in order to help the students have an idea what is the conversation about. Well, this is my contingency plans. And now, this is my reflection. My reflection about using integrating skills when teaching an English class. I consider that integrating skills can help a lot to students to improve their English knowledge, and also allow to students to have different activities in class. And this will help them because they are going to feel motivated to participate in class, and they are going to have different activities, and those activities are not going to just for one group of students. These are going to planning for all the students, considering that there are differences in learning styles. And of course, these activities are going to help a lot and are going to be according to the lesson that we are planning. We are developing with students, and I consider that these are going to help a lot to students. Well, this is all. Thank you very much.